again, clone this repository, and then follow from getting started, those 2 steps, and then system installation, do Python installation.py. Anything that is different in your environment, we can debug it and find out what it is. Then we're going to go to another project. So, by the way, once you're done installing this, you run pipenv run python dialog application.py, and that should talk back to you. That's how we know things are running. Now, another one is if you go to a repository called bcitswoz. Okay, so I'm going to make sure that you're collaborators. Only the tutoring system? Okay. This is to run the Wizard of Oz, so you likely won't run it very much, but hey, why not? Let me see if your collaborators here. Oh no, this is old people. I need to remove some of these people. All right, so I'm going to add you guys right now. So, Ahmed, what's your username again?
It's Ahmed_Khan.
And then we have Zetchen. What's your
Zetchen Kao, no space.
Zetchen?
Kao, CAO. Yeah. Yeah, that's me.
Jacob?
Yeah.
You go by Jacob? Ah.
That's what I told the group for the coffee.
Yeah.
Oh. Situation.
That's for me. It's AJAL. It's no LOOLI. No, that was correct. AJALOOLI.
Aluli. Is that double O common in Iran? I work with.
Some people go with double, some people go with OU.
I have a colleague at Loyola, and his last name is Tutuni, and he uses the 2 O's.
Yeah, it's either double O or OU.
Okay. Sanas.
My name Sanas, does it appear? Can you like my last name to Rahimi Musavi?
Yeah.
Oh. This one, no.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, my eyes are.
Yes, that's you.
Sanaz Rahimi?
Yes, that's me. That's my name.
You had long hair.
Yeah.
Very long hair. Okay, and then Renu?
Ardesh. But me in. Right.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so you all have access to this, to the BCITS. Same thing. This one is even easier. So clone this guy. There's a lot of crap in this project, but clone this. And you have to do this manually. Pip install TK, pip install sockets, pip install website. This assumes this is not run with pipenv. You can do the same things with pipenv. Okay. And once this is installed, if you can go ahead and install it, this is super short. This should work. You have pip, so this should work in your computer right now. So go clone this repository and install these 3 things. And I'm going to show you how to run this guy. If you're on Mac,
should I go for the requirement that the pipenv, or I do
the tutoring system, or this one?
Tutoring system.
Do Python installation.py. And that should ask you in the end, do you want to
generate that.
Yeah. Okay, so on this one, the thing that is particular about this guy is that I'm trying to do this because of the video. I don't want the video to be like quiet for like so many minutes. Because if you're doing the video, you're just following. So you want to install these things. Pip install TK, pip install sockets, pip install WebSockets. You can also do pip install TK space sockets space WebSockets. All that works. In your on Mac OS, you might have to use Python 3 instead of Python and pip 3 instead of pip. Okay, for all these commands. Now, here's how we work with this Wizard of Oz. I'm going to run it here, and then I'm going to show you a shortcut if you have a Mac, and then on PC, there's no shortcut. So, because at the time that I built the shortcuts, I had a Mac. So, we need 3 terminal windows for this to run. Okay, so that's the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open 3 terminal windows. So that's one. Oh, wait. That's one. Then I'm going to open another one. And I'm going to open a third one. So that's my second one. I'm going to try and put it where I can see the other. And then I'm going to run another one. And here's how we're going to distribute this instances. One's going to be a web server. One's going to be the remote control. And the other one's going to be the socket. The way this works is there's a remote control and a socket to a web application. Okay? The idea here is that if you want to change the web application for whatever web you use, you can change that, right? So that's why the socket is a separate application and we don't run it all in one terminal. So you want to start something called combine.py in one terminal. So we're going to start in the bigger terminal. We're going to go obviously where this thing is, Dropbox, research, dialog, code, and that repository. And then I'm going to start combine.py, Python, combine.py. So I'll start this, and this will give me a couple, and this is starting. That's good so far. We leave it there. This is the socket. Now, I might put it down. Now I'm going to start a web server on port 9090, where the website file using here. I'm going to start Python -m HTTP server 9090. So on my second terminal, so maybe this one. Oh, aborted. What happened? Oh, this is the tutoring system. Okay, yeah. So I'm going to go to I have to go to the same directory for all of them. Okay, now I'm going to do Python. I'm sorry, I'm going to start the web server with the command that's on GitHub. So I'll start it there. Then I'm going to load this web page. So I copy and load this web page. I will click start right now. I clicked start, and that is Maria Gonzalez. I'm going to go back here. Now, here's an interesting thing. I need to go see here. The steps are here, but I'm just going to reduce it here. I'm going to go to where I had my combine.py, and we see now that says server is working on this URL in this IP address. So I'm going to copy this IP address. And the third step is to start something called client.py. So I'm going to go to my third terminal window, and I'm going to go to the directory, of course, code. And I'm going to start client.py. I'm sorry, client.py. Client.py. Now, here's what's interesting. So TK window open up here. I need to put the server's IP address. So where is the, this is the client. So the client, where's the socket listening to? So I'll put that and I'll connect. And this will immediately open. You can't see it on that screen, but I will move it over. So that will open the remote control interface of the tutoring system. If we could see them side by side, but this screen is too small for that, if I go like here, if I click on a button here, so what did the doctor talk about? And I can speak to it and I can say things and whatnot, right? And here's my speech. And I can say things, right? So it's listening and the speech is going back and forth, and I can control a lot of aspects of the tutoring system. I change it close, right? The other thing is that sometimes for a Wizard of Oz, you want to follow a script. And if you have a script created, you can just click here where it says select file. You can't see it there all that well, but in Mac, it should be on gray. You can select file and you can just go to a file, a control remote file, a button file that suits your script and your needs for this. So for example, you can go to here, code. I'm going to open a buttons file. So buttons in Chinese. How's your Cantonese, Zichun?
My Cantonese is terrible too.
Terrible. I would imagine so. Let's see. Open. So here, you know. So that's Cantonese. I understand. Yeah. But you can open button files here, and they can change even the formatting. So if I go here, I can show you how to create button files later. But it's dead easy. It's a CSV file. Whoops. BCITS buttons, and then I can do. I believe it's this one. This one, for example, has like some general buttons here. Then it has a section which corresponds to the section in our script, which is a Word file. And then the buttons that it has with numbers and whatnot, and I can scroll down. And then we play the first video, and you can play a video on the screen, right? And it'll go like this. You know, this guy's watching a video with the user. These are like 40-second videos, so they're really short. And when the video stops working, the avatar goes back to its original size. It's like a Zoom. It's sharing the video, and now it's going to go back to its original size. And it can talk again with the remote control, right? So here. So I don't know. Right? So you control this. This is the puppet. This is very easy to install. It only requires 3 libraries, and it works. Okay, so now we're going to shut down the doctor, and we're going to shut this down. If you have a Mac, you got to go and terminate this Windows. It's not enough just to close them with Control-C. You got to terminate them. So otherwise, you leave a lingering Python process running, and you either wait for it to finish, or you just, you know, finish it yourself. Okay. This is the Wizard of Oz. And the last one is the configuration, which I have not run. So this is going to be a first for me. You have to have, for the configuration, you have to have, what's the JavaScript thing? Node.js. So, and React. So we're going to go to, again, the repository, and we're going to look for config tool or something like that. Config tool, this one. I'm going to make you all collaborators on this one too. And this you might have to work with if you want to change domains and whatnot. This is how you configure domains in the tool. So settings, collaborators. So again, I gotta remove people. Okay, sorry about this, but all again, Ahmed
underscore Khalid.
underscore.
Solution club.
No underscore, right?
No. Yeah.
It's a generally.
Our body? Dash. Okay. You're all there, okay? This one is a little bit more of a primitive repository because we finished this one earlier. So the instructions are not so well explained. So we're running this together, guys. All right. So I just have a directory where I want to clone this. Do I have config tools here? Oh, I do have the config tool. Okay. So just clone this repository somewhere and then go in. I'm just going to do it all just in case there's anything. Okay. Oh, not a Git repository. Okay. So I need to delete config tools. Let me delete that. Here. So I'll just delete it. And I'm going to recheck it out. So, all right. So git clone and here's the repository to clone. So I say git clone and then paste. Already exists. It's not an empty directory. Really? I thought I had removed it. Hang on. Delete. Delete it. All right, now it's deleted. Sorry about that. So now I'm going to clone it. Already exists and it's not a. Oh, what's going on? Maybe it's just that I see it here too and I delete it and then I see it again.
21. Oh.
So delete. Yes. It is deleted. It is not there anymore. My Dropbox says, do you want to delete from your Dropbox account on all devices? Delete everywhere. Okay. It comes back up magically.
It's the Dropbox.
Open it.
It's my Dropbox. Yeah. I just wanted to show you that it was, magic.
Maybe
but
it's an
Maybe
empty
rename
one.
it to-
Maybe it's an empty vault.
maybe
Or maybe rename the previous one. to content.
that's what I'm thinking. Tool to all right. So now we're going to check it. All right. So now it's cloning this repository into config tool. This one might have a lot of things in it. Okay, so while it does that, I need to install the dependencies for front end and back end. So I go into each directory and I run npm install. And in the backends, I run pip install minus r requirements. Oh, I'm sorry, inside backend config. So, okay, so the first one, I do npm install once this is done. I might have to edit this video if it's still recording. Because there's a lot of like,
Not
and then I
fine.
think
That's fine.
you'll,
As long
you'll
as
be
it's
just playing,
recording.
you'll be just playing it in the background. That's fine. Again, any of these procedures, you just, give me a call. We can zoom in and do it together. It's not a problem.
But these three tools are like totally independent from each other.
Somewhat, not quite. So
Okay.
you don't need one to run the other. Yes, they're independent that way, but they use common things. So
Okay.
for example, the tutoring system can also connect to the website,
I see.
and then it runs autonomously, right? The configuration tool generates a JSON file that's used by the tutoring system to run its own, learning domain model.
Ah, I see.
So the configuration tool is so that you don't have to write a very cryptic JSON file with all the right responses and all the questions and all that stuff.
Mhm.
The configuration tool is that so that you don't spend time there. If you want to configure a domain for this, and that goes more for Renu and for me, if you want to run a specific domain or whatever, you can just hand it on to someone and student can do it without knowing a lot about computers. You can just tell them, hey, grab all this content and put it in this configuration file. And the configuration file separates the content in units, which are like chapter. Think of a book. Units, which are chapters. Topics, which are headings within the topic, within the chapter, right? And paragraphs, which is paragraphs within each heading, right?
Mm.
And then for each paragraph, you can annotate. You can say what questions are important about this paragraph, what words are important about this paragraph, right? And how can you say this paragraph in a different voice? So for example, let's say you want it in Spanglish, right? Maybe you can put how the paragraph will sound in Spanglish. You can write it half Spanish, half English, just so that the system knows at least two versions of the same paragraph and can match many different audiences, right? So, and that you do that for every paragraph, every topic, every unit. In the breast cancer, I think we have like 3 units and maybe 30 paragraphs.
Mm.
It's not big. These things are not super big, but it's easy to configure, and you can. It's all visual. So you click and add a unit on the plus sign for units, and then inside the unit, add a topic with the plus sign for topic. It's very easy to work with.
And when the patient is like describing to the tutor, you have here this English thing or Spanish thing is stored where? Like stored in a file?
It's stored, so the configuration is stored in a JSON file that you put in the tutoring
No,
system.
not the configuration, the input from the patient.
Oh, it's text that comes in and
Okay.
it's matched against the content of the JSON file.
Okay.
Okay. Now that speech, right now, it is being stored in a memory structure. So once you close the thing,
It's gone.
it's not gone. It's stored in the user model. So we know what the user has said and how much has he or she learned.
Ah, I see.
Okay. So we still store it, but the idea would be that it's stored
Oh.
encrypted, later on.
Ah, okay.
So this, in the year 2027 will finish, and then we can continue. So, but yeah, that's so the 3 of them can work together, but you don't need one to run. You don't need the other 2 to run one.
So they work like a pipeline.
They
One
are
is-
3
yeah.
different programs. They can interact with each other. They're meant to interact with each other, but they're not dependent on each other. Yeah. So, yeah, this is going to take a while. Renu, were you able to do anything? Did you try to do the Wizard of Oz?
It could be the admin rights, because I couldn't even install the NPM for this one.
Oh, the
So I'm
NPM
able
is
to
going
clone
to.
everything, but then when I start,
You know what you can do in this computer if they allow it? How much RAM do you have? Okay, you might want 32. Oh, better. You can run a virtual Linux machine and install
I'm
everything
planning to
there.
get rid of their OS and install my own version. I'm sick and tired of these.
Yeah.
My,
Yes,
the-
I mean, it's like,
this is fairly controlled as well, but not as much. I can install
Because
everything.
this is a laptop that I bought for this grant.
And they control it?
I can control it.
and the same for us too, yeah.
Yeah, so our laptops, when I
Yeah,
bought
they put the sticker.
when I bought computers
Put the
for
sticker
this
in,
project,
please let
they
me
put
know
the
what's
sticker, but I said I don't want IT support. So they put the sticker because it's property of the state of Illinois. But if I decline IT support, and then it's just the Windows that comes with it, and I have
I said, give me the bare machine.
We can't
I'll do
do
whatever
that.
I'll pay.
no,
for
so
my
you
problem.
can tell it I don't want your support. I'm okay without support. If this breaks, it's my fault. Let me
That's
work
the
with that.
problem. It was delivered to them. I had to get it delivered
Oh.
through them.
I mean, for us, it's not about the support.
Yeah, I was about buying the laptop.
I couldn't even
myself,
buy it and
Yeah.
get
and
it
they
delivered
said
at my
that you should
home.
find
I had
Wow.
to get it
version
delivered.
that the hard drive encrypts itself. So if you cannot
Wow.
find that kind of, laptop, we cannot purchase that for you.
Well, that's because you always fall for the Nigerian prince scam. Yeah, right? No. So okay, so we have this installed here. We have the repository clone. So I'm gonna do what it says here. So I'm gonna install the dependencies for the front end by going to the front end and typing npm install. Now this might fail because by the way, config tool, because this was done with a long ago version of JavaScript, of Node.js. So hopefully it still works. So I'm going to go into front end and then type npm install. This takes a little bit. Yeah, see, the was created with an old version of npm. This is a one-time fix-up. Please be patient. Okay. And then once that is run, I'm going to go into backend config and I'm going to run this guy. Yeah, so one of the things that we really wanted for is if you have a clean computer that you have rights to, this installation should not be hard. There's a problem with Macs and something called port audio that sometimes it's hard to get the audio out on a Mac. And then there's instructions on how to install that if that's the problem. But really everything should, if you have the right permissions and the right Python versions, things should work. And we tested this in many computers and it worked, except for the port audio in some Macs and one or two things here and there, but by and large it works. And we tested in virtual machines, in virtual Linux distributions, and it also worked fine. Did you manage to get the tutoring system running or no? What was the error?
So I was running.
Oh, wait 1 second. I'm going to go to the backend config, and I'm going to run this pip install requirements. Then running the app, I'm going to go Python manage.py run server in the config in the backend. And then in the front end, I'm going to go and run npm start. So I need 2 terminals. I'm going to create another terminal here. Here, Dropbox, research, dialog, code, config. All right, so I'm going to, so I need 2 terminals. One will be running Python manage py run server, okay, and that is in the backend config. Okay, I'm already in the backend config, so I'm just going to run this thing. Python manage py run server. This basically starts running the backend. Okay, module not found error. PsychoPG2. Oh, let's see if it runs. If not, I have to install that for sure. So here I'm going to go to the front end and write npm start. That will open a web browser. If everything works, it'll open a web browser with the configuration tool. And no, it didn't. Starting developer server, okay. We'll see. There's a problem in the backend, a problem in the front end, and then my Windows firewall says that there's someone I need to allow access. So if you have a Windows firewall, you'll have to allow access. Oh, so maybe that's why. Starting the service of this usually takes a little bit of time. Oh, there it is. Okay, Webpack compile. Proxy error. Okay, so here, right? So you add a unit. With this, create a unit name, and we're gonna call it, you know, whatever. Running a meeting. And my backend is not working. Okay. No, okay. Why can't you add this? Oh, proxy errors. Yeah, common errors from. Okay, I need to debug this guy. Hang on 1 second. I'm going to do something here. Terminate, and then here terminate. I'm going to run this again. So let's run the backend because my firewall was blocking something before that, and then I'm going to run the front end. Oh, I need this PsychoPG2, I think. Okay. Let's run this. Yes. Okay. So I'm going to install that. For some reason, this PsychoPG2 is not installed, so I'm going to install it. Pip install. If you're missing the packages, pip install, and then the name of the package. PsychoPG2. All right, let's run this. This might be due to the old version or something. It's needing new packages. Who knows? Okay. Now, npm start. And at some point, this is going to open up in a tab. Use setup middleware. There's something going on my front end as well. But this will automatically open the window and the interface will be there. It's just as easy as clicking like that, and you saw that it asked me for a unit name. It is really not much more complicated than that once it's running. This I haven't run in years now. So that's, I need to deal with the new version of NPM and all that. Come on, it takes a little bit, but once it's running, then it's easy to run and restart every time. This is a React project, so it's working in React, something called React. So the framework takes a while to load, but once it's loaded, you can refresh the screen or run it again, and it's fast. It's just the first time around, it takes a while. Come on. Starting development service.
I think I need to run the PowerShell as an admin.
I'm not running it as an admin, and everything I install as my own user.
That's what I'm getting. So I was just checking on stack flow. So it basically says.
Then run it. Then yeah.
And I can't run as an admin because I don't have the admin. So I'm gonna.
I think that a virtual machine is.
Seriously, I'm gonna create an issue out of this. They're already in trouble. This ITS team, they're crazy. Don't do anything and just create problems for us.
They think that we are just using Microsoft Word.
Exactly. I mean, it's like.
And the web browser, and that's it. Yeah. They think we don't do anything else. Come on. I'm pretty confident this is going to start. It's just that it's taking forever. Anything here? Yeah, this is fine. So see, this uses Django, version 4.1.3. I don't know what's the latest version of Django. Maybe this is it. I don't know. And maybe that works a little bit differently. But this should, come on. Why is it taking forever? There's some, there, I get some error here. Yeah, there you go. Trace deprecation. There it is. So, okay. Here. Okay, so yeah, this is a test thing, right? So we have a unit, managing side effects of surgery. So with, let me erase this. Deleting. So I can add a unit. My unit is going to be, I don't know, running a meeting. Save. So this is running a meeting. I'm going to add a topic. Gathering participants. I'm going to add a paragraph. To gather participants, you need to be clear on the topic and relevant people of the meeting. I can write everything, right? What is the main question I want to get out of this paragraph? What are the steps to run a meeting? Right? Now, if I want to say the same thing in a different voice, different language, or different whatever, so the system understands two things, I can write it there. If I have other questions to this one, so that it doesn't look so scripted, I can ask them here, and then randomly it'll pick a question from here the second time around. If there are keywords that I think people need to mention, so even though you give me the right answer, you give it to me with like very vague words, but I want you to say the word stakeholders, for example. I want you to use that word. I can put it in keywords, and those are words that, hey, if you don't say it, I'll ask you differently, okay? Then you can have an intro or an outro. So sometimes for some of the paragraphs and for some of the questions, you might want to say, well, now that we've talked about the creation of a meeting, and then you go ask the question, right? And an outro is what you say when you're coming out of this paragraph. So you say, okay, since we talk about the gathering the participants, now we're going to talk about setting the topic, right? So this is like kind of like going out of the topic, and those are the two things that we're trying to use ChatGPT for instead of writing them here. You don't have to write any of this stuff, and you can put a comment which is just for you, commentary. So say it. You can add more paragraphs, you can add more topics, you can add more units, and that's how it goes. And when you're done, you upload this file, meaning you save it. Oh, you can view the JSON so far if you want, right? And you can download this JSON and then put it in the tutoring system. When you start the tutoring system, the dialog application, you can specify -F and point to this file. And that will load that file as the knowledge base. If you
So
go...
basically we're using the config tool to create the script, to create...
Right, but there are scripts that, so the breast cancer script is already created.
Right.
There's two created, but yeah, you can create. What I don't remember here is that there was a place where I could upload my, custom message settings. This is for like when you start and when you finish the tutoring session altogether. There was a place, and maybe it's my poor installation of Node.js. There's a place to upload a file. If you had a file, upload a file. Maybe this is it. Upload a file. Yeah, upload a JSON file. So keep existing. I'm going to delete the existing units. If you have a file that you're working on, you can choose the file. And for example, I can go here, dialog health. Where's the tutoring's code? Where's the tutoring system? And then look for a JSON file here. It might be in the domains, maybe. Yeah, so this is Mohammed's, this is the default demo. So here you see, oh, I kept the topics. So I thought I told you not to. Doesn't matter. You can delete this topic. This unit. Okay, so here, strategies for managing side effects of surgery. This is just one unit and 2 topics with a bunch of paragraphs. And you can edit this paragraph. You can click on a paragraph and that should edit the paragraph. I don't know why it didn't. But... Oh, now I'm done. I don't know what I did now. Okay, so I can click on a paragraph and this should take me to edit the paragraph. So it might be something with that error that I was getting earlier. Sorry about that, guys, but you should be able to edit this paragraph fairly easily once everything is well installed. Then there's a unit surgery with 1 topic and many paragraphs, right? There's a unit radiation therapy with one topic and only 1 paragraph, right? And so on and so forth. So you can write these and these are easy to configure. So that is how you install this system.